All the while, Annalise's gaze was fixed on him, watching as different emotions surfaced on his face when he suddenly zoned out like he was in some kind of trance. He was looking at her but at the same time not looking at her. And when she looks closely at him, his eyes appear distant, almost like he has been hypnotized. Is he in some kind of cult? That is the only explanation she could think of, because they are the only ones known to be acting in such strange ways. Or is he perhaps angry at me for shouting at him? Oh no! She covers her mouth in shock. If that was the case, then Annalise feared she has met her end. Thinking fast, she decided to escape. I have to leave this place. But how? She is confused as to if he is seeing her or not, but there is only one way to find out. Without wasting a moment, Annalise started taking steps backwards very slowly, stopping only when she got close to the door before unlocking it. All the while her heart kept beating fast, because she was expecting to hear, "What are you doing?" But nothing of that sort happened. Thank God for that, she exhales, breathing a sigh of relief. His anger must be like no other, clouding his sense of sight literally. Making her way out, she closed the door behind her, making sure not to leave a sound. But upon turning to leave, she met the stares of people gawking at her, making Annalise become paralyzed with fear. Having been caught, she tries to act nicely. "Hi," she said, shyly, but didn't get any response, not even a single. "Hey," came her way, not to mention "nice meeting you." All they did was stand there and stare at her like she was odd or an alien. Taking a deep breath, she decides to give it another chance. "Hi everyone, nice to meet you all," but unfortunately, got the same reaction. Giving up, Annalise decided to give the only best shot she has, which is to run. Hurriedly, she started walking very fast, increasing her speed, almost running, because she wanted to get as far from them as possible. Something in her gut tells her they are all evil and are only after her life. She has no idea where she was going to or which way leads to which. Annalise just kept on walking. But before she could make it halfway through the passage, she got stopped by some group of mean guys. "Hey beautiful." Not so fast. One young boy, probably in his 20s, stops her as he blocks her way with his body and hands spread wide. "Tell us, beauty, where are you off to so fast in such haste?" he asks, licking his lips meaningfully as he takes in her appearance. Her eyes twerked round, watching as 3 of his friends came circling her and trapping her in their middle, making her heart beat fast again. From the look on their face, they look like trouble. She is all too familiar with such scenes, most especially in high school, when bullies threaten the weak and fragile. And now, she is about to experience the same thing, making her want to cry. "Trey," one drawled. "Isn't she the human who was brought in unconscious?" "Yes. Kanye, you are right. No wonder she smells funny," the Trey guy said, doing the most weirdest thing. "He sniffs me like he was some kind of animal." "Please stay away from me and let me go," Annalise said, her eyes twerking around again. But this time, for an escape route, as they charged towards her, pushing her among themselves like she was a ball of some sort. "And why will we do that, princess? Don't you know you are our alpha's toy, his plaything?" Kanye taunts, chuckling, emphasizing the word plaything in a way that speaks volume. Annalise cringed at the thought of that. "Hey guys, I don't think we should do this. It is not wise, man," a reasonable one among them said, making her happy. Finally, a ray of hope shines in her heart. "And why is that?" Trey asks with a raised brow, all the while not taking his eyes off Annalise. "Like you said, she is Alpha's plaything. Don't you think he will punish us severely if he finds out?" Trey, who Annalise is starting to suspect to be their ringleader, chuckles. "Relax, man. He won't. Have you forgotten he doesn't like her kind?" Annalise looked at him like he was high, wondering why the hell he was referring to her as her kind like they weren't the same. "Fool, In fact, most in this big house are sick. If not, why will they keep addressing her as such? If it is not human, then it will be her kind. Crazy people. Thinking about the mess she is in, Annalise thought of a plan. If I am to escape from here, then I must change my strategy. So, she decided to appeal to their emotions, hoping they have a heart and will let her go. Because something tells her that their so-called alpha they keep calling might be more wicked than they are. Therefore, the enemy she knows is better than the one she don't. Looking at them, she went on her knees pleading and crying, "Please let me go. I am begging. I am all my poor mother has. Please, if I die she won't be able to bear it. I have lost my dad already. Please have mercy." But they didn't budge at all. It was like her tears fell on deaf ears and didn't have an effect on them or move them at all. Do they have a heart? She looks at them wondering. Because I am certain they don't, she said to herself crying. Oh Lord, if you are hearing me, please help me. I don't deserve to die like this. I don't deserve to die at all, not when I haven't fulfilled my promise to my mother. Stop wasting your tears. It won't work, Kanye said, sounding bored and cold. You are going nowhere, darling. The one she thought was reasonable said, as he dragged her up. She looked into his eyes but didn't see an ounce of pity in them, shattering all her hope of ever escaping. Yes, princess. So don't waste your tears, Trey assures her. All your daddy is dead. You say, don't worry, tell us where your mama is and we will send her to your daddy. I promise to make her death quick. Without thinking, Annalise lost her self-control, slapping him hard across his face. How dare he say such hurtful words to her, she cried, but more because of her aching hand. It is hurting real bad. Bringing it close to her face, she blows a breeze on it. And when she looked up at the person she slapped, there was no sign of pain on his face. He didn't even flinch, not even a little. What are they made of? How dare you hit me, you bitch? He hissed, looking at her coldly. Oh, what have I gotten myself into? Now I will kill you with my bare hands, stupid bitch. He snarled, strolling towards her with a venomous look on his face, forcing her to take steps back until her back hit the wall. Sensing the call of the Alpha Mason, responds immediately. Yes, Alpha. Where is Elijah? He snapped. Elijah. He is confused, not sure why Ethan is asking of him. Yes, damn it. Tell me why Ava is not properly taken care of. Emphasizing the word not, all the while trying to remain calm. Ava. His confusion deepens. Alpha, please, what are you talking about? Who is Ava? Ethan was about to say his mate, but stopped himself because he doesn't want her identity to be disclosed yet. The human, you fool. Who else is injured in the palace? He yelled, unable to believe why Mason is asking a stupid question. Now everything makes sense to him and his confusion cleared. Of course I should have known. All he cares about is the human. Mason hates the fact that Annalise came into their lives and took his best friend from him. I am sorry, Alpha. Please forgive me. I forgot to tell you Elijah is currently out of town handling some pending issues. You see. He paused a little before continuing. One of our finest men is currently injured due to the work you assigned him. Shut up. Now listen to me. I don't give a fuck who is injured. So if you want to see the light of day, then bring Elijah here, and I don't care how. He said with finality in his voice, before ending the connection. Bullshit. He is so pissed at the nonsense. Mason was spitting at him. Lately he has been getting on my nerves. I wonder what his problem is. After taking a deep breath to calm his nerves, he looked up hoping to see his mate, but found an empty space. What? He looked around. Where did she run off to? He couldn't believe he got lost in his anger and didn't notice her leave the room in her state. She is unwell and might faint any moment from now, is what scares him the most. Feeling tense, he sniffs the air. inhaling deeply, trying to catch her sweet, intoxicating scent, but caught something else which was dominant. Fear, his mate is in danger. What? Fuck. He hit the wall hard, hating himself for being incompetent. Using his werewolf super speed ability, he ran to her, his mate's scent acting as a guide for him. Lucky for him, he got there right on time when Trey, an insignificant Omega in his pack, had the audacity to push her. Coughing, Annalise held her chest, trying to recover from the choking before she felt him shove her hard to the ground. She screamed uncontrollably, shutting her eyes tightly as she awaits the pain that comes after a fall. But seconds passed and nothing happened. Instead, she felt strong arms wrapped securely around her waist, pulling her gently towards the firm chest, making her body shiver in excitement. Then an intoxicating scent hit her, making her stomach flutter. The electric shock that passed through her at the slightest body contact did not go unnoticed by her. Who is this person that is making her feel things? She wanted to know, raising her head slowly to see her savior. Annalise met the most beautiful, enchanting blue eyes she had ever seen boring deeply into her, which belonged only to her handsome stranger. He is handsome, she said breathlessly, as she looked at his face of perfection, the most handsome I have ever seen. Without thinking, her hands went up to his face, cupping it. The smile on her face widened. Annalise is unsure what she was doing. To her, it felt like her body took control and is doing exactly what it wants. And the strangest thing is, it felt right to her. Ethan stared into her gorgeous green eyes, stunned at what she was doing. Does this mean she feels the bond? He asks himself, but quickly shakes the thought off. There is no way a human can feel the mating bond. He assures himself before putting her down at safe reach, and then lets himself be consumed by his anger. Willingly, Ethan for the first time let his wolf take charge, doing exactly as it pleased. The change of color of his eyes did not go unnoticed by Annalise, as she watched his gorgeous blue eyes change into something deadly. What? Still trying to understand what she saw, Annalise witnessed something far shocking. In the blink of an eye, Trey's headless body fell to the ground, gasping. She covers her mouth in shock. I just witnessed the murder of someone and everyone is acting cool. Like nothing happened. She turned round hoping to see their reaction before her gaze settles on the killer. She once considers her savior. Ethan got lost in his anger. He completely forgot his mate is a human and possibly has no idea how things works around here. He looks at her as she staggers backwards, breathing hard with her hands tightly placed on her chest. His heart broke, but most especially due to the fear in her eyes. He hates seeing it but always ends up triggering it. Holding his hands to his face, Ethan feels like a monster. He wants to bring comfort to her, but is unsure of the way she will react. Stop thinking and go to her. His wolf encouraged him. Annalise watched as he took steps towards her. And she became frightened. Don't touch me, stay away from me, she yelled, looking at his eyes that had returned to its color. How did he do that? Is it even possible? She asks herself. The fear in her eyes increasing. With his mind, Ethan informs everyone in the passageway to leave immediately. He doesn't like how weak and frightened his mate looks, because it is a werewolf nature to fear and respect only the strong. If he wants his mate to be respected, then she mustn't be seen in this state. Yes, Alpha, they said in unison, bowing their heads before they left. Annalise watched as everyone in the passageway left in unison. Where are they going to? Leaving her alone with a killer. She freaked out, almost running to them, but got stopped by the huge man. Ava, please don't run from me. My name is not Ava, she screamed, unable to bear it anymore. Please stay away from me, she pleads, going on her knees with her hands jammed together. She went on and on pleading. without realizing Ethan was no longer there. "Hey, are you okay?" a feminine voice asked, making her eyes snap open. Annalise was surprised to see the same woman who ran out of her room in a haste, without uttering a word, and not the man. Where did he go? She wonders, looking round hoping to get a glimpse of him but couldn't find him anywhere. Was she relieved or sad? She doesn't know. But I should be right, so why do I feel this way? Please get up. I will take you to your room. Crystal cannot express how happy she is to see her. She was almost about to kill the guard stationed outside Annalise's room before Ethan called her. What a relief, she sighed, too tired to object. Annalise followed her. The silence was too tense. From the corner of her eyes she saw how Annalise kept glancing at the headless body. This must be frightening to her. Breaking the silence, she spoke first. My name is Crystal. What is yours? Annalise hesitated a little before finally responding. I am Annalise. Wow, what a beautiful name. Nice meeting you, Annalise. She gave her a friendly smile, doing her best to make her feel calm and relaxed. Although she knows it won't be easy, humankind has always fascinated her. She keeps wondering how it feels like to exist without having any supernatural strength. She finds living like that boring, but most especially vulnerable. Many times, she has witnessed how badly her kind treats the humans. Although growing up in an atmosphere like that, she never gave in to such thought. But that doesn't mean she likes them either. Just indifferent, that is all. More like if they cross her path trying to act funny, she kills them. But if they respect themselves and live peacefully, she has no problem living among them. But, as usual, they always end up doing the opposite and leaving her with no choice but to kill them. Still in the mood of making small talk, Crystal continues. I am sorry about my behavior earlier. That is if it came up as strange, she grinned sheepishly, making Annalise chuckle. What a relief, at least she finds my sense of humor funny. Yeah, I must confess, she said, still chuckling. Crystal's effort to relieve the atmosphere from its tense mood didn't go unnoticed by her. In fact, Annalise commends her for it in her heart. And we are here. Back to your room, she said excitedly. If you need anything, feel free to ask. And this here is Chris. She added, pointing towards him after noticing Annalise's inquisitive eyes as she stared at the guard standing outside her room. A guard, but why? She asks, still staring at him as if she will find the answers on his face. It is the king's orders, Crystal said in short. Then added when she noticed how rigid she became. Relax, he is just here for formality's sake, considering you are in a palace. She said, as if expecting Annalise to figure the missing dot herself in her head. Oh, Annalise said, as if understanding. But Crystal knows she doesn't understand shit, but didn't bother explaining. Entering the room, there were broken ceramic plates on the floor, with grilled meat and rice scattered all over the room. She forgot to clean the mess. Oh shit. Sorry about the mess. I will have it cleaned right away. Turning to Chris, she called out quickly, call one of the maids to have this cleaned. But who will watch over her? Who else? Me, of course, can't you see? She rolled her eyes at him. What sort of stupid question is that? She ponders, shaking her head displeasingly. Annalise watches as Chris hurried off before Crystal shut the door. This time around, she took her time admiring the beautiful room. In case you need to freshen up, the bathroom is over there. She points to a fancy door at the right side of the room, and this leads to your walk-in wardrobe. We were able to get you new clothes, but if you don't like any, please let me know, I will have it changed, she assures. Thank you, was all Annalise managed to say before thinking about the headless body lying in the passage. She wonders what will be done to the killer. Will he be arrested? But the thought of him going to prison didn't go well with her. Who is he, by the way? She wonders because everyone bowed to him in submission. Maybe he is the son of the king or a very important person. May I come in? It is Darcy. A soft knock was heard on the door. Yes, come in. Darcy walked in, bowing her head a little to Crystal. Ma'am, you called for me. Yes. Please have this cleaned. In the meantime, she said, turning to Annalise who was still admiring the room. I will get you something to eat. Okay, thank you, she said politely. Annalise would have loved to join her, but she is still in a state of shock, can't seem to get past what she saw earlier. But most importantly, don't think she is ready to face the handsome stranger. He made her feel things that left her confused at the end. Crystal was taking so much time in returning. So Annalise decided to use the opportunity to freshen up. She gasps upon seeing how beautiful the bathroom is decorated with pure gold and some fancy furnishings. She took a step further inside, admiring the beautiful bathroom as she let her hands slide on the gold basin, shower stand, and the beautiful bathtub. It is simply beautiful. Wow! This king is filthy rich, she said to herself. But why is he showing me so much kindness? Is this how generous he is? All these questions heightened her curiosity in wanting to meet the king and his queen. The sound of punching filled the room as Ethan kept hitting the bag non-stop. No matter what he does to distract himself, he just can't get past the look of hurt and despair on her face. I made her cry, damn it! He exclaims, hitting the punching bag, transferring his anger on it. Alpha, please calm down, you will hurt yourself. Mason exclaims in despair, not understanding why Ethan is in this mood. What is wrong? Please tell me. Ignoring him. Ethan kept hitting the bag, wishing it was one of his enemies. Ethan, please stop. Upon hearing his name, he stopped. This is the first time in 5 months Mason addressed him by his name. So what changed? Turning to Mason, he gave him his undivided attention. You are not yourself. Can you please tell me what is going on so that we can solve it together? He asks gently, hoping Ethan will open up to him, but that didn't happen. Instead, he kept staring at him, not saying a word. Giving up, he turned to take his leave. She is my mate. What? He asked again, thinking he heard wrong. The human is my mate. Mason stood for God. Knows how long just staring at his friend. Of all the things he was expecting to hear that never came to his mind, how is that even possible? He wonders. It is impossible for a human to be mated to a werewolf, Ethan. He said, sounding more like a question. Yes, Mason, but she is my mate. How? He asked in disbelief. How what? Ethan wondered what the hell he was on about. How did you find out? Really? He raised a brow at him. Is that what is most important? I am sorry, Alpha. Well, it is just, I don't know what to say and where to start from. This is crazy, he said, pacing round the room in confusion, thinking what to say or do but thought of nothing. Can you stop pacing around? He yelled. You are distracting me. I am sorry, Alpha. So what do you intend to do? Now, it was Ethan's turn to pace round. I don't know, and now I have ruined everything. What do you mean? You have ruined everything. I have ruined my chance of getting close to her. How? He asks, still trying to understand the situation. In my anger, I killed Trey in front of her. Now she will think of me as only a monster. He covered his face, feeling sad. What? Trey is dead? You killed him. Mason didn't know how to react. The news of Trey's death left him shocked. Why, Ethan, why did you kill him? He wanted to cry just thinking how his poor mother will feel about the loss of her son. She must be devastated. Ethan snaps at his mere audacity in questioning his decision, pinning him hard against the wall. I will kill whoever dares lay a finger on my mate. So send out this warning. He hissed, still choking Mason. Anyone who dares lay a finger on the human will face my wrath. He finally freed him from his hold. Mason held his neck in pain. Coughing as he looked at Ethan, fear gripped him at the coldness in his eyes. For he knows that Ethan meant every word. "Ah, my son," Sonia cried upon hearing the sad news. Leaving everything behind, she ran to her son's dead body lying helplessly on the floor. Her heart ached more. Wrapping his body in her embrace, she wept, begging, "Please wake up." Upon seeing his head lying away from his body, she grabbed it, crying more. "Wake up, son, mother is here." Fear gripped Courtney upon seeing her in this state. Sonia has always been a loyal pack member, so why did Alpha pay her faithfulness in this manner, more or less over a worthless human? "This is not fair," Crystal said to herself, feeling sad as tears kept falling down her eyes. "Please pull yourself together." She went to her, trying to take Sonia off her son's dead body. "Leave me," Sonia snapped, pulling her hand off Courtney's. "I need to wake him up. If only I can fix his head back, he will be fine." Turning to her son, she knelt down again. "Get up, my boy. Mummy's here. I am back. I won't go away again, I promise. Mummy will not leave you or let you leave my sight," she cried. "Please wake up. Open your eyes. Ah, please," she begged, whipping harder. "Please, Sonia. He is no more. You need to be strong." "Why?" she yelled. "Why did he kill my son? Why?" She kept asking, but no one answered. All kept staring at her. Trey's 3 friends and some others who were present when it happened stood at the far corner watching the scene before them. Ethan's actions left them all terrified. No one dared to speak. Even if he were to punish them for their sins, it is never death. So, they don't understand why Ethan did it. "What happened? Someone please tell me," she asks, looking round at everyone staring at her. "Please, Kanye. Tell me. You are always together. What crime did he commit and why did Alpha kill him? Why did he kill my son?" But still no response. "Someone, oh please tell me." "I will tell you," came Harry's shaking voice as he stepped out, ignoring Kanye's signs of warning. "Let me go. I have to tell her, she deserves to know." Wiping her tears, she ran to him. "Please tell me. What happened?" "We were all heading outside for a run when we saw the human and decided to play with her, but Trey." He stutters before continuing. "He took it a little too far. I warned him against it, but he won't listen." He said, "Eh? So what happened?" she asks impatiently, raising her voice a little. "Eh? And the human hit him." "What?" she gasped, looking at him in disbelief. "Yes, Mrs. Coley." She slapped him across the face. And that was when Trey started choking her and he what? Courtney yelled, going close to him, wondering how stupid they were for messing with the human, when they know how closely guarded Ethan is over her. For Christ's sake, he choked her husband because of her. He pushed her. And that was when Alpha came and ripped his head off. "Why?" Courtney yelled again. "Why did you and your friends mess with her after knowing everything?" she asks in disbelief, unable to understand what went through their head at the moment. We thought he wouldn't mind. We are sorry," Trey's friends said in unison. Sonia couldn't believe her ears. "Why?" She kept lamenting in her head before exclaiming out loud. "Why? Tell me." She grabbed Harry by the hand, shoving him hard back and front before finally letting go and staggering backwards in defeat. "Please, Sonia, get a grip of yourself. You need to rest," Courtney said as she held her hands to prevent her from falling. "How? Please tell me." She looked at her in despair. "How will I rest when my son is lying dead? Tell me how," she whipped. "My dear son is gone, and it is all because of that stupid human. And just like that, Sonya's mood changed as a new objective was set in her aching heart. Tell me, why is the human still alive? She alone is responsible for the death of my son. I will end this here and kill her with my bare hands. And with that, she charged towards Annalise's room. Oh no. This is bad, Courtney freaked out. Please, Sonya, think this over. She begged, calling after her, but she refused to listen, forcing Courtney to run after her. Author's note. Thank you for following me through this journey. Please like, comment, or vote for my book if you love it. I love you. Annalise soaks herself in the warm scented water as she lays in the bathtub. The warm water is so soothing, relaxing her nerves. She moans, letting out a sigh of relief as she sinks in more. She could stay there all day if it were possible. But the continuous growling stomach prevented her from doing so. I am so hungry and Crystal is taking so long to return. She sighs frustratingly. I should have gone with her, she said, but decided to dress first. Stepping out of the bathtub, she wraps her body securely with a clean white towel before heading to her room. Oh no. I forgot to ask Crystal for the body lotion. Searching the room, she finally found it in her dressing table. Wow. It is my favorite. How did they know? She asks in amazement, entering her walk-in wardrobe after applying the body lotion. She walked into beautiful dresses suitable for different occasions. Pondering on what to wear, she decided to go with a blue bootcut jeans and a white crop top stopping right above her belly button. Looking at herself in the mirror, she decided to pack her hair in a ponytail and left her ear bare without wearing earrings because she doesn't know where to find those. Now time to look for Crystal. I will just ask Chris. About going to the door, she heard noise from outside and then a knock. Oh, must be Crystal finally. Excitedly, she went to open it. But the door barged open instead. It is a good thing she wasn't close to it, or else it would have slammed on her face, gasping. She looks at the intruder who barged in like she was being chased. Is everything okay? She wanted to ask but stopped when the woman took slow, purposeful steps inside her room, with a killer-look expression on her face. You came and interrupted our home, ruined the peace of everyone, and then had my beloved son killed. She yelled, charging towards her. Your son? Annalise asked, puzzled before it finally clicked. Oh, you must be the mother of the boy who was killed by that mean man, she said consolingly to her. I am sorry for the loss of your son. Before I knew what was happening, his head was no more. She shudders remembering how the fearful event unfolds. My son is dead, and you are still alive. Can you tell me why that is so after killing my child? She yelled, grabbing Annalise and throwing her on the floor. Owl, she moaned in pain. Please, you are wrong. I wasn't the one that killed your son. It was that huge man. But before she could finish her sentence, Sonya pulled her by the hair, dragging her up. Ah, she flinched again. Please believe me, she screamed, trying to reason with her, but Sonya refused to give in to reason. Her eyes are covered with only one thing: revenge. You murdered my child, right? I will have you murdered the same way you did my son, you worthless human. Raising her hand, Sonya prepares to hit her with the final blow. Don't you dare, Crystal hissed, catching her hand in the air before stepping right in front of her. Get out of my way. She warns Crystal as she tries to shove her off. Never. You have to go through me first, Crystal warns. Why? She asks, looking at Annalise with hateful eyes. Why are you defending this insignificant human over your kind? Tell me. I understand your pain, but right now, you are not thinking straight. Get your hands off me, she snapped, shoving Crystal's hands off her. My son is dead, and it is all because of her. She spat the words "her" in disgust while nodding her head towards Annalise's direction. Sonya Crystal tries again as she notices her patience is slipping away. I understand you are hurt, but you need to calm down. I will only calm down when this human is 6 feet buried in the ground, she said with so much hate. Fine then. If that is what you want. But take note, Crystal warns again. You will have to go through me first. Annalise stood and watched as the drama unfolds, unable to speak or move. She just stood there with eyes fixed tightly on Crystal and Sonia, while her hand rested on her head, which still aches badly from the hard pull. Blood was about to be spilled as Crystal and Sonia faced themselves ready for war as no one refuses to budge. Crystal, I am warning you. Stay out of this. It is between me and the human. No. Like I said, you will have to go through me first. So be it. Ignoring the human presence, Sonia prepares herself ready to transform. Sonia! Courtney called as she entered the room right in time. Have you gone mad? Stop this nonsense right now! She yelled before going to meet Sonia. Please, Courtney, stay out of this. She is responsible for my son's death, can't you see? Killing her won't bring him back, Courtney said the bitter truth, which seems to snap her back to her senses. So please, she begged, speaking softly this time around, get back to your senses. How? What will I tell Daniel when he returns? My baby boy is gone. She knelt on the floor, whipping hard, moved with pity. Annalise tried to comfort the grieving mother. Stay away from her, Courtney snapped, making her stop in her tracks. You have done enough damage already, she said before, turning towards Chris, who just stood there confused, unsure of what to do. Please take Sonia to her room. I am sorry. But Alpha strictly ordered me to watch over her, he said, pointing towards Annalise. That is an order. It is okay, Courtney, Sonia said, getting off the floor. I will see myself out. But as for you, she stopped before turning towards Annalise. Please, she began, jamming her hands together. Go away from here before you get all of us killed. Sonia's words hit Annalise hard, making her collapse on the bed in despair. Upon seeing her in this state, Crystal ran to her side. Hey, Annalise, don't let her words get to you. She doesn't mean it, she is just hurt, that is all. A mother is forced to separate from her child, and it is all my fault. If I was not here, then her son would still be alive, she cried, placing her face in her hands as the tears flowed freely. She for one knows how it feels when you lose your loved one in death. No words can console you, and it leaves a huge gap in your heart for the rest of your life. I have condemned her to a life of misery. No, Annalise, it is not your fault. Sometimes unforeseen occurrences happen, and it is beyond our control. Crystal continues pacifying her. All the while Courtney just stood, rolling her eyes at the scene before her, wondering why Crystal is taking her side. I want to leave, Annalise said abruptly, meeting Crystal hazel eyes. To where? Crystal asks, confused. To my tent. I want to return to my tent. What? Crystal can't believe her ears. Why would anyone want to give this up and return to that horrible tent of hers just because of a little setback or confrontation? Yes, Crystal. At least everyone here will be safe. What? That is nonsense, right? She turned to Courtney, who was just standing staring at them without saying a word. Actually, I agree with her. What is your name again? She asks, turning to Annalise. Annalise. My name is Annalise, she said softly. Her strength has been drained and hunger disappeared. Okay. So Crystal, I agree with her. She needs to leave. What? She exclaims in disbelief. How can you even say that? Why won't I? It is the truth, isn't it? She has done more damage than good. And this is just her first day of regaining consciousness, and she has caused so much chaos, Courtney said, rolling her ways at them. She sees no reason why Annalise needs to be stopped if she wants to leave. Annalise, please. Don't let her words get to you, she said, turning to Annalise, who just sat on the bed feeling sad. Why? Annalise asked with shaky breath. She is right. Of course I am. Courtney stated as a matter of fact before leaving the room, unable to stand Annalise's presence anymore. Slamming the door a little too hard, she heads to Sonia's room. Poor woman is so broken. How will she cope with her loss? Courtney wonders on her way. Looking at Annalise, Crystal has no idea how to console her, or the right words to say. Listen, I know you must be hurt by what they said, but that doesn't mean you should leave. I have hurt them. It is all my fault. So if they want me to leave, I see nothing wrong. Really? Is that what you really want? She asks. Judging from her facial expression, Crystal can see she meant neither the words. Annalise doesn't want to leave. What should I do? Stay. But my presence is not needed, so give me one good reason I should stay. She looked at her, hoping Crystal could convince her to stay, because the truth is, she wants to stay. As much as it hurt to stay, it hurt Annalise even more to think of leaving. Inside her heart, she craves to see that handsome stranger again. He is all she thinks of. When he held her close, she felt safe and connected, like they belonged to each other. Because no one has the right to send you away, only the alpha. Alpha? Annalise asks, puzzled. She has heard that word before. But where? She ponders. Oh, no. I meant His Highness, Crystal corrected immediately, coughing awkwardly. Wow, that was close. She sighed in relief when she noticed Annalise didn't press further. Okay. So, who is the king? I will like to meet him. You will, Annalise, but first, you have to come eat. At the mention of food, her stomach growled again, reminding her of the hunger she once had. Oh, I see someone is very hungry. Crystal chuckled. Blushing, Annalise looked away. Come on, let us go. To where? She asked, startled. To eat, of course. I kind of threw the food again when I heard an angry Sonia was heading to your room. She added when she noticed Annalise's twinkling eyes searching for the food. Oh, sorry about that. Won't the king get angry for wasting his food? Nah, he won't. Then looking away, she added, muttering under her breath, because his main priority is you, although I don't know why. What? Did you say something? Nope. Come on, let us go before the food is finished before our arrival. But Crystal noticed she was hesitating. So she asked, any problem? It is just that, do you think it is a good idea for me to join you guys, at the dining? Sure, why not? She asks, still not understanding her point. Even with all the hate thrown my way. Come on, Annalise. It is fine. In fact, it is an opportunity to see the king, she added. Although she knows Annalise has seen him but is unaware he is the king, considering it was Ethan that informed her where she was. At the mention of seeing the king, Annalise's curiosity became heightened, clearing away every fear of stepping outside. All right, let us go, Annalise said, excitedly. Binding her hand in Annalise's arm, Crystal led the way. On their way, Elijah called Crystal, making them stop before they got to the stairs. Elijah! Crystal exclaims. She has been dying to see him ever since he went out of town for work. He is not her mate, but Crystal doesn't care because she loves him like that. Wow, it is you. She ran to him, excitedly leaving Annalise's arms. Annalise stood and stared at the fine man before her, analyzing his look. He is tall, but not as tall or huge as her handsome stranger. But he is very handsome, although not as handsome as him too. She is yet to see someone as handsome as Ethan, and is certain doesn't exist. Yes, it is me? Were you expecting another? He chuckled, embracing her. He finds it strange, but he misses this beautiful woman in his embrace. I thought you were out of town? She asks breathlessly. While looking at his handsome face, she feels like combing her hand through his short brown hair but stops herself from doing it. Because he is not her mate, Elijah is against them being an item, although she doesn't mind. Yeah, I was, but got an urgent call from Mason that my presence is needed here immediately. he said the last part, while nodding his head towards Annalise's direction. Oh, I see, Crystal said, with understanding. Grudgingly, Elijah left his hold on Crystal's waist. He desires to make her his but can't ignore the bitter truth that they are not mated together. One day when she finds her mate Crystal will be happy. He didn't take advantage of her, leaving her side. He went to Annalise, stopping right in front of her. How are you? Annalise just stared at him. He is truly a fine man with his dark brown hair and black eyes. From up close she could get a good description of his height, which is around 6 feet, 3 inches. He is slender, but with muscles and abs. Well fit. His woman will be proud to have him as her man. Giving him a friendly smile, she responds. I am fine, thank you. I am sure you must be wondering who I am. Well, my name is Elijah Thunder, the Doctor of Royal P. He was about to say pack but stopped when Crystal coughed awkwardly, nudging his arm as a sign. He coughed awkwardly. I'm sorry. I meant Doctor of the Royal Palace, he grinned, hoping Annalise doesn't suspect a thing. Annalise's eyes moved from Crystal to Elijah. Something about their behavior isn't right. Okay, nice meeting you. She decided to go with the flow. If they don't want to tell her what is going on, it is fine. She doesn't have a problem with it. Wow, he exclaims. I am surprised to see you are doing just fine. Due to the urgency in Mason's voice, he was expecting to see an invalid who will be bedridden. But instead she is fine and healthy, but he will still keep her under medical observation. She is a human after all, and might develop some reaction afterward, due to the werewolf treatment administered to her. So he can't be too sure. Yes, I am also surprised, she said honestly. When she regained consciousness, her body ached all over, and found it difficult to walk, and not to mention the severe migraine. But when the handsome stranger held her in his arms, all the pain disappeared, like he sucked it away. That is good news. But I will still advise you to stay in your room and rest. Really? The idea of lying in her room alone all day didn't go well with her. She wants to walk and explore this beautiful palace. But of course, she doesn't want to encounter Sonia just yet, not until after she is calm a bit. Yes. And you, Crystal, he said, turning to Crystal, who has been staring at him and smiling. Shuld know better. You know she is still unwell, mind linking her, he added, and Alpha won't be pleased seeing her walking. So why did you do it? Sorry. She grinned apologetically to him. I was hungry, she said before, ending the link, making Elijah pissed. I am not done talking, and she ends the link. He frowned. Are you okay? Annalise asks, noticing the frown on his face. Yeah, I am fine. Have you had anything to eat during the day? Of course. Turning to Crystal, Annalise contemplated, telling the truth or not, but later decided to. No. What? Why? He asks as he turns to Crystal. What? Don't look at me. I have been busy with things. Please get her something to eat. I will be right back, he said before leaving. Where are you going? Crystal asks, feeling sad. He just got here and he is leaving again. That doesn't make her happy at all. Come, let us get you something to eat. But Crystal kept turning back, hoping Elijah would turn or answer her question. Her face dropped when that didn't happen. Elijah could sense her stare at his back as he strolled away, trying to get far away from her. He really didn't have a specific place in mind. Elijah just wanted to get away from her. Every time he sees her, the same thing keeps happening, ruining his effort of trying to get her out of his head. Every time he closes his eyes, her beautiful face is what keeps appearing, and he doesn't like it. She is not his mate, and one day, he knows Crystal will find her mate, and he will find his. So what happens when that happens? To prevent anyone from getting hurt, he plans to stay as far away from her as possible, but that won't be easy. considering the fact Crystal is the one assigned to watch over Annalise. He keeps pondering how he will cope when he finds it difficult to stay away from her. "Hey man," Mason called as Elijah almost ran into him. "Are you okay?" Mason's concerned eyes met his. Yes, I am fine. You don't look too good, man," Mason said, as he observed his friend. "What is weighing on your mind, man?" Elijah is yet to tell Mason or anyone else how he feels about Crystal, and he hopes to keep it to himself. Since he has no intention of letting the attraction grow leading to a relationship, it is nothing. Just wondering why you called me with so much urgency when the human is doing just fine. Oh, about that. Sorry, man. Our dear friend Ethan has lost his mind over the human Mason said, rolling his eyes. Really? He let out a short snort. Yeah, man. As much as I would love to go into detail, there are more pressing issues I have to take care of. Oh, really? He snorted again, giving Mason a knowing look. And does this pressing issue have anything to do with Courtney? He asks, wiggling his brow at him. Oh, come on, Mason chuckles as he has been caught. Yes, Elijah is right, since today the beast in him has been craving his mate, and not just his beast but him himself. Well, since you know the truth, there is nothing more to say, he grinned sheepishly. All right, lucky you. The sad look on Elijah's face did not go unnoticed by him. Don't worry, man, very soon you will find your mate, he said, giving him a manly pat on his shoulder. Chat with you later, bro. I have to bounce. Sure. See you soon. I just need to take a stroll. I understand. And with that, Mason left, leaving Elijah alone with his thoughts. In search of his mate, he sniffed the air. Just then, he caught her tempting scent as she came out from Sonia's bedroom. There you are, he said, pulling her close to him. She let out a yelp sound at the sudden pull. Where have you been, huh? He asks, nibbling her small ear. In Sonia's room, she breathed out, moaning at the sweet sensation of his lips on her ear. How is she doing? Raising his head, he looks into her eyes. He can see how much his mate is hurting. She has always been close to Sonia. Not too good, babe. I still don't understand why Ethan reacted like that. Yes, I know. What Trey and his friends did was bad, but the death punishment is just too much, she half yelled. Seeing his mate so sad breaks his heart so much, and he wants nothing more than to tell her the truth. And if Ethan wants to keep it secret for now, then he must have a very good reason for it. In order to get her mind off it, he changed the topic. I have been searching for you, and all you care about is the human. He frowned, looking into her eyes. My baby, I am sorry about that. She held her ear, playfully apologizing. How can I correct it? Encircling her waist, he pulled her closer for a kiss. By taking this to our room, he said, while probing his hard member on her stomach so she will understand what he means and see how hard he is. I see someone is hungry. She wraps her hand around his neck, pulling him for a hot kiss. Why don't we take it to the room then? And without waiting for a response, she held his hand, pulling him to their room. Wow, someone is in a hurry now. He chuckles, tapping her butt lightly, making her giggle. Finally in their room, Mason closed the door with his foot, then pinned her hard on the wall. Locking his lips with hers, they kissed while his hands were everywhere on her body. Stroking, touching and squeezing as a key out short gasps. Courtney is already ready and wet for him as he can smell her all over. Groaning, he ripped her maxi skirt and was about to rip her white undies, but Courtney stopped him. I will take it off. It is my favorite, remember. She raises her perfectly shaped eyebrow at him. Finally free of her undies, she pulls at his brown polo, ripping it off, making Mason chuckle. Now she was the one in a hurry. Moving to his pants, she helps him take it off, unbuckling it with urgency. I need you now, she moans. Can't wait any longer. Grabbing his briefs, She tore it, freeing his already hardened member. Same, here he groaned, lifting her off the ground. She wraps her legs around his waist, binding them together. Moving her hand down, she grabs his manhood, stroking briefly before guiding it to the place she aches the most. Gasping, her head fell backwards in pleasure as he slams in, moving hard and fast. More, she moans, holding his shoulder for support, gripping her thigh. Mason widened her legs, thrusting deeper, increasing his speed with every thrust. The sound of groaning and moans fills the room as flesh slams into flesh. Carrying out the normal body check on Annalise. He was impressed at how fast her body is healing. How are you feeling? He still needs to be sure. I feel much better. Just a few body pains here and there, but other than that, I feel much better than when I regained consciousness. She informs him excitedly before quickly adding, I never got to ask, how long was I out? You were out for 2 weeks, which made the king tense. Really? She chuckles. Why, when I am only just a stranger, I don't have an answer to that for now. But all I can say is you mean more to the king. Which is quite strange, by the way. He said the last part to himself, baffled. She looks at him in surprise. How a total stranger, a king, worries over her like this. The question keeps running through her head. What is his name? His name is Ethan. King Ethan, he corrected himself. Ethan, she called out softly as if mastering the sound of the name. She loves his name and would love to see him too. Looking at his wristwatch, he exclaims, Wow, it is very late. I will leave you to rest. Okay. Thank you, doctor. She gave him a warm smile. Out of the people she has met in the palace, only him and Crystal have been nice to her so far. Speaking of Crystal, she doesn't know why she didn't return after taking their plate to the kitchen. Probably she decided to call it a night from there. But she still frowned. At least she should have come to say goodnight, she said to herself. Sleep well, and ensure you take your drugs on time. He said before, closing the door behind him. While he was in Annalise's room attending to her, all he could think of was Crystal. He took his time while tending to Annalise with hopes to see her again, but she never returned, making him worry if she was fine. Contemplating a little, he decided to go check on her before calling it a night. Hey! Crystal Joan called as she entered the kitchen. You have been scarce these days, and here you go again. She rolled her eyes at her. How have I been scarce? You mean you don't know? She exclaims dramatically. How you have forgotten me and do not have my time anymore. Come on, it was just for a few hours, that is all. Well, it felt like many days to me, she said with a frown on her face. All right. I will make it up to you tomorrow. Really? She exclaimed excitedly, making the frown on her face disappear and a smile returned. Yes. We will go for a run tomorrow. Promise. Promise. You can't change your mind now, she said, like a child making Crystal chuckle. Crystal has always known how much Joan enjoys running. She also enjoys running too, but not as much, making her peers consider her to be strange. The thought of that brought a bright smile to her face. Why? Are you smiling? Before Crystal could respond, Joan slapped her arm a little too hard, making her flinch. Ouch, what was that for? For pulling my legs. How? She asks, still rubbing her hand. Why were you smiling? Joan asked again, but this time her smile disappeared. Come on. It was just a happy smile. I remembered something funny, that is why. Wish to hear? No, please. Thank you. Whatever you consider funny is always boring, she said, before running out the kitchen, making Crystal chuckle. You are not serious, Joan, naughty girl. She shakes her head at her silliness. Crystal would have gone after her if it were to be a normal regular day. But today she is super tired. Taking care of Annalise has drained her somehow, and she is also not in the mood. What Elijah did still hurt her. He knows how she feels. Yet he ignores her every time. Leaving the kitchen, she headed to her room, saying goodnight to those she saw. Still awake, "Good night, Crystal," Darcy called out before Crystal could enter her room. "Good night," she calls in return before closing her room door. About to take her top off, she heard an almost silent knock. Who could it be? She wonders before looking at the time. It is past 10 already. It must be Joan. Probably got tired of running and decided to return to disturb her. Shaking her head, she went to the door to open it. "Joan, it is already late." She paused when she saw it wasn't Joan at the door but Elijah, unable to move. She looked at him in surprise, and her treacherous heart started beating fast out of excitement. "Won't you let me in?" he asks, speaking softly. Probably don't want to wake others or alert anyone of his presence. If not, they will finish him with questions tomorrow morning. "Sorry, please come in." Standing at the side of the door, she opens it wide so he can enter. Shutting the door, the room suddenly became tense and her palms sweaty. Whenever she is excited or afraid, she always has sweaty palms. Continuously, she dries it on her faded jean trouser as she looks at Elijah, standing in her room. Awkwardly, Elijah was left speechless as she stares at him with her beautiful hazel eyes. But in order to end the awkwardness, he decided to speak first. "I wanted to check on you before leaving to my room." "Why?" she asked. Her short question caught him off guard. Elijah didn't know how to respond since he has been the one always creating distance between them. So why is he here? He keeps asking himself. "Tell me, Elijah, why did you decide to check on me? Tell me," she urged him, taking steps closer towards him, all the while maintaining eye contact. "Why are you in my room so late at night?" Finally, she stopped right in front of him, with only a foot away between them. Standing so close to her without touching her is pure torture. And Crystal is not making it easy for him. "Please, Crystal, try to understand." "Understand what?" "The reason we can't be together." "Which is?" she asks, faking pretense. "We are not mated together by the moon goddess." "So what are you doing in my room?" she asks, stepping closer to bridge the last remaining distance between them. "I came to check on you." "Damn it, why?" she asks again, urging him to say the words she has been dying to hear. "Because." He paused, running his hand through his head. "Yes. Go on," she said, looking at him with wide, eager eyes, anticipating his response. "Because you are my friend, and I care a lot for you." "Just that?" she asks, her heart shattering at his words. "You only consider me as a friend." She looks at him hoping he will say he was wrong, and that she meant more to him than a friend. "But that never happened." "Yes? That is why I came here. Please leave." She cut him off quickly, pointing towards the door. "What?" he asks in disbelief. "Yes, please leave." "Are you deaf?" she asked when she noticed he was still standing. "I said leave my room." Her voice broke, betraying her when she needed it the most. She wanted to cry, but kept holding it in, unable to bear the pain in her eyes. Elijah pulls her close when she tries to move from him. "Crystal, I can't leave you." Elijah held on to Crystal tightly, like his life depended on her. "Please let me go." Crystal cried out as she struggled to free herself. "I won't. Not until you calm down and listen to me." "What else do you have to say?" she asks, looking into his black eyes. "You have said it all." "No, I haven't," he said with a commanding tone, forcing her to stop her pretense of freeing herself. "I care deeply about you." Those words made her heart flutter in ways she can't explain. but she covered it with a frown. Don't you think it is already late for that now? How is that, Crystal? You mean the world to me. Yes. But as a friend, right? She teases, hoping he would finally break and say the words she has been craving to hear. And again, her poor little heart was left broken. Yes, he said, unable to meet her searching eyes, looking for the truth, hitting his chest angrily. Crystal tries to free herself, but this time she exerted force, compelling him to let her go. Placing her hand in his chin, she forced him to look at her. Then there is no need for further discussion. Going to the door, she opened it, showing him the way out. Elijah was tempted to pull her close and shut the door. But he didn't. He will give her the space she needs and let her heal. He knows his words must have hurt her badly. Strolling towards her, he stopped right in front of her, placed a small kiss on her forehead, bid her good night, and left, hoping she will find a place in her heart to forgive him. In his room, Elijah poured himself some whiskey to calm his aching heart. After rolling in his bed, continuously unable to sleep, he gave up trying and decided to have a drink. Sitting on his armchair and sipping his drink, Elijah closed his eyes and let his mind wander, thinking about the only woman always on his mind. Crystal. Going wild in his thoughts, he thinks about the things he would love to do to her beautiful body if their relationship wasn't as complicated as this. Letting out short groans, he imagined his hand molding her very full breast, taking her nipple in his mouth and sucking slowly while his hand worked magic in her sweet hole, making her moan as he fingers her with every thrust of his fingers, giving her ecstasy. Sweat starts to build on his forehead, forming a bead as his treacherous mind keeps torturing him with pleasurable thoughts that can never come to pass, making him depressed. About to pleasure himself, a soft knock was heard on his door, interrupting his sinful thought. Checking the wall clock in his room, he sighs in frustration. Who could be knocking so late at night? It is 20 minutes past 12, for crying out loud. He contemplated, ignoring the knock. But the person won't stop as the knock keeps getting louder, with every minute he wastes not opening it. Grudgingly, he went to open the door, shocked at who was standing before him. He had to blink severally to be sure he was seeing clearly, and not hallucinating. Zipporah. What are you doing here and so late at night? He asks, scanning her from head to toe for any sign of hurt. But she looks fine to him. Come on. Can't I come and see my brother again? She rolled her eyes at him. And must I have a specific reason for that too? She teased before walking past him, entering inside. You know that is not what I meant, right? Then what do you mean, brother? She asks, folding her arm on her chest. You know I have been knocking for more than 5 minutes. What took you so long to get the door? She looks at him questioningly, scanning the room, hoping to find a lover. But no one was in the room. Only a bottle of whiskey with his glass cup on the table. As you can see, it is late, and I was sleeping, she snorted, interrupting him. Please, Elijah, spare me. She chuckles, annoying him, the more as he furrows his brow at her. And what is so funny, if I may ask? He asks sarcastically, still furrowing his brow at her. Making herself comfortable, she pours herself a drink before turning to him. I know you weren't sleeping, in fact. Do you want to know something shocking? She asks, looking at him from the rim of her glass suspiciously. What? He asked foolishly. I know you were not sleeping, but in fact you were up thinking about a woman. It was so obvious, judging from the whiskey on the table and his glass. Elijah never drinks except something is weighing him on his mind seriously. And she knows it has to be a woman since he hardly remembers home. She was about to say something again, but stopped when he almost choked on his drink, coughing severely. Fear gripped her upon seeing her brother coughing seriously. Quickly she stood up to get him a glass of water, handing it to him as she patted his back lightly to soothe him. Easy now, she says softly. What happened? Her once playful tone became serious. It is your fault, he exclaimed, shrugging her hand off his back before standing to breath in fresh air. His sister has always been so good at figuring him out. And foolishly, he always underestimates her all the time. How? Looking at him, she wondered what she did wrong. You are always spitting rubbish, that is why. Now tell me, he paused before turning to her. Did you come here all the way just to say rubbish? No. Father sent me here to check how you are doing. Well, I am fine, as you can see. Dropping his glass with a half full of whiskey on the table, Elijah stood and went towards the bed. He no longer feels like drinking. You need to rest. First thing tomorrow morning you will return home. You can use the bed, he said before. Grabbing a pillow, opening his wardrobe, Elijah took an extra pair of blankets he always keeps for emergencies like this. Are you not happy to see me after so many years? She frowned, looking at his back as he arranged the blanket on the floor. It is just 2 years since we saw Zipporah, so please stop being dramatic. He sighs, before continuing with what he was doing. Yes, it is just 2 years. But when was the last time you came home? This is my home. Rubbish, brother. Your home is where your families are. Elijah can't shake her words out of his head as it pierced through him. Ever since he left his former pack 10 years ago, he never returned. From time to time, Zipporah has been dropping in to check on him, and also give him feedback on how his family are faring, but that is all. Zipporah, as well as his mother and father, belong to the Red Moon Pack. He also once belonged to it, but left when his power-driven father wanted him to connive a wicked plan and kill the Alpha so that he will become an Alpha. But he refuses. He can't kill innocent people for a worthless reason like that. It is not his nature. He chose to be a medical doctor for a reason, because Elijah loves saving lives and not ending it. Dad must be happy now, he said, as he remembers the cruel thing his father did to an innocent family. Because Elijah refused to go with and become an Alpha, his father took it upon himself to do it and make himself one. Come on, Elijah. Are you still holding him for his small mistake? Everyone make mistake. Filled with rage, he turned to face her. You call it a small mistake. That mistake of his cost the death of an entire family. Yes. But that was a long time ago, and don't forget he is our father, and he has changed now. She assures him. Well, that is his problem. And to answer your question, this is my home now, and every member of the royal pack is my new family. If you are going to be stubborn, then I will be too, she said to herself with determination. Zipporah has no intention of returning back tomorrow or any time soon. She can't let a 7 hours journey go to waste, just like that, without giving a short trial to the main reason she came here. Closing his eyes, Elijah forced himself to sleep. Remembering what his father did to an entire innocent family because of greed and power tears his heart deeply. Every day he tried his best never to become like his father. Because whether he chooses to accept it or not, the same blood runs through his veins. On waking up to the bright light that filled his room, he yawned, trying to remember why he slept on the floor rather than in his bed. Looking at the table with a bottle of whiskey on it, he starts to remember bit by bit. First, he was relaxing in the chair, taking his drink and thinking about Crystal. The sweet memories of Crystal start replaying in his head as he wished she was right here beside him. So what happened afterwards? Gently he massaged his forehead, trying to remember. His eyes twinkled around his room until it set upon 2 glasses on a table. One was empty, and the other half full. That was when it clicked. His sister had come yesterday, saying father sent her to come check how he was doing. Elijah was so pleased to find her things gone and his room empty. He thought his sister had left. Getting off the floor, he stretched himself one more time. It felt like heavy rock was placed on him. His whole body aches due to the hard floor and cold. And he blamed it all on his sister. If she had informed him earlier of her visit, he would have had someone prepare a room for her. Picking the blanket and duvet he used in sleeping, he neatly folded it to put it back in its place. But when he opened his wardrobe, he was expecting to see only his dress. But instead, he found his clothes pushed to one part of the wardrobe, while the other part was filled with women's clothes. "Zipporah!" he yelled in anger, as if she would hear him from his room when he didn't know where she was at the moment. Taking a stroll round the palace, Zipporah admires everything from the structure of the palace to the beautiful compound surrounding it. This is not her first time taking a tour of the palace, but every time she visits, Zipporah makes it her aim to stroll round, and she is always amazed at how beautiful the palace is. But she is not surprised because the king is very rich and his family rules over many kingdoms. "Excuse me, ma'am. You are not allowed in this corner of the palace." A guard stopped her as she was about to enter the east wing of the palace because it belongs to the king. Although knowing this fact, she always keeps trying, hoping one day the guard will change their mind. "But don't you worry, it will also belong to me," she said to herself before returning back to the general section of the palace. Checking the time on her wristwatch, it is past 8 a.m. Crystal smiled because she knows Elijah must be awake, and probably finds out she is still around and hasn't left. "He must be looking for me everywhere," she chuckled, giggling to herself. Just then, 2 females from the royal pack passed her, looking at her strangely. They must have thought she has lost her mind, ignoring their pity stares. Crystal entered the palace. She is already hungry and needs to fill her stomach with food. The sweet smell coming from the kitchen made her stomach growl. As different trolleys of food passed her, heading to the dining room. About to trail behind them, she stopped when she caught sight of a beautiful young average-height lady that looked oddly familiar to her. Her beautiful chestnut hair and big brown eyes is not one that can be forgotten or go unnoticed by anyone. But where have I seen her? She ponders before greeting her, grabbing her attention. "Good morning." Joan responds passively before trying to continue her journey. "I know you. Seen you before somewhere, but where?" asked Zipporah as she stared at her, trying to remember. "Yeah, in this palace, of course," Joan stated as a matter of fact. "No, not here, somewhere else. My name is Zipporah, by the way. Please, what is your name?" Joan eyes her for some time before responding. "Joan, if you don't mind, please excuse me." Zipporah followed her every movement before Joan finally entered the dining room. She was about to follow her to inquire about something, but got stopped when a hand grabbed hers, pulling her at a side. "Ah," she gasped. But Elijah covered her mouth, muffling the sound. "What are you still doing here?" he breathed angrily on her face. "Didn't you hear me last night? I said first thing this morning, you are to leave from here." He gnashed his teeth. "Why, Elijah?" She matched his angry tone. "I just got here and you want me to leave." Her face turned sad and her eyes began to tear up. He rolled his eyes at her, at how she is playing the emotional card. "Tell me, what is your real intention of coming here?" Elijah has figured out that his sister didn't just come here to check on him. "Did father even send you here at all?" The coldness in Elijah's tones scared her a bit, but she refused to give in to the fear. "Yes, father did." She looked down, thinking of the right thing to say next that would touch her brother's kind heart and let her stay. Come here." He grabbed her arm again, but this time took her to a more private place in the palace. He is caught like 5 curious glares thrown at their way as they pass by. "Now you can talk. Go on," he ordered. "Father is worried about you." "All right, I confess. He did not send me here, but he was worried about you though. So I decided to take the initiative to come check on you and also change my environment." "Why?" he asks, Searching into her eyes for any hint of a lie, she stepped away from him because the stare was too much for her. Creating distance between them, she turned her back against him before responding, "Because ever since I lost my mate I have been broken. I need time to heal, Elijah," she cried. "And staying back home just keeps reminding me of Ludwig." She finished and wiped her tears off. Elijah couldn't believe how insensitive he has become to forget what a great loss, heartbroken and depressed his sister was. At age 20, she lost her mate in a deathly battle with an enemy pack. He died while trying to save his sister. Elijah can feel his sister's pain because he is also hurting. He can't be with the woman he loves dearly and can't stop thinking about her. Going to her, he pulls her close in his embrace. "I am sorry, Zipporah. You must be hurting every day. I am sorry for being so insensitive to not realizing how much you are hurting. Hurting is too small to use for what I feel, brother. In fact, no words can describe it." She hiccuped, making Elijah heartbreak more. Pulling her closer, he wraps his hands around her more, holding her like a fragile pearl that can break any moment from now if handled roughly. "It is okay now. I am here." Finally, after much petting, she calmed down. He pulled her away just so he could wipe her tears off. "You can stay here all you want until you heal. I will have someone prepare a room for you," he promised before leaving her side to see Ethan to convince him and let his sister stay here in the palace. She let out a sigh of relief when her brother finally allowed her to stay here. Wiping her tears one more time, she returns to the dining room. Taking her seat, she served herself, taking everything she could find on the table. Bacon, cheese, egg, warm milk, bread, fresh pineapple juice, and some fruits. She ate with so much happiness, ignoring the some confused stare directed her way.